Up until this point, Buddhism might feel overwhelming. We discovered that life is inherently unstable and full of friction, known as Dukkha. We exposed the inner puppet master, our non-stop dopamine-driven craving, or Tanha, that keeps us running on an endless treadmill of dissatisfaction. If Buddhism stopped here, it would be a philosophy of despair. But the Buddha was not a prophet of doom. He was a spiritual physician. After diagnosing the illness and isolating its cause, he delivered the ultimate breakthrough, the good news of the cosmos. He called it the third noble truth, Nirodha Satya, the noble truth of cessation. He declared that the disease can be cured. The machine of suffering can be completely turned off. Today, we step into the ultimate goal of the spiritual journey, Nirvana, the state of absolute freedom. In the ancient Pali language, the word Nirodha is deeply profound. It is a combination of na meaning without, and rodha meaning prison, wall, or obstruction. Nirodha literally means breaking through the walls, or the complete cessation of a cycle. It means that when you remove the fuel, the fire must go out. Imagine a high-tech factory with giant machines running non-stop, producing heavy smoke, heat, and deafening noise. This factory represents your mind, constantly generating thoughts, anxieties, and cravings. Now, imagine walking over to the main power grid and flipping the switch to power off. Instantly, the heavy gears slow down. The noise fades. The smoke clears. The heat dissipates. The factory becomes perfectly still, cool, and quiet. That stillness is Nirodha. It is not the destruction of the factory. It is the absolute peace that remains when the chaotic machinery of craving is shut down. When the fire of craving, hatred, and delusion is completely extinguished, a human being realizes Nirvana. To the modern mind, Nirvana is often misunderstood as a cold, blank void, or a psychological state of nothingness. But the Buddha described it in highly positive, liberating terms. He called it Sandhi, the supreme peace, Tanha, the sanctuary and ultimate safety, and Mudhi, absolute freedom. Nirvana is not a magical planet you travel to after death. It is a dimension of reality you can experience right now, in this life, while fully awake. When an enlightened master, an arahant, achieves nirvana, they do not stop living. They still eat, walk, talk, and sleep. But the friction is gone. If someone praises them, their mind does not inflate with ego. If someone insults or attacks them, their mind does not trigger anger or fear. Their mind has become like the open sky. Clouds of events pass through it, but the sky itself remains completely untouched, pristine, and infinite. But the ultimate triumph of Nirodha is what happens when the physical body of an enlightened being finally dies. This is called parinirvana. As we discussed in part 2, it is the gravitational pull of Tanha, the craving, that drags consciousness back into a new womb, forcing it to undergo biological evolution over and over again. When a person achieves Nirodha, they have completely dissolved that inner gravity. There is no more unfulfilled desire left to pull them back into the physical matrix. The Buddha used a beautiful metaphor. Imagine a physical fire burning. It requires wood and oxygen to stay alive. If you stop adding wood, the flame naturally consumes what is left, grows smaller, and eventually goes out. Where did the fire go? Did it go north, south, east, or west? No. It did not go anywhere. It was simply extinguished because the conditions for its survival ceased to exist. When an enlightened being dies, their consciousness breaks free from the laws of physics, thermodynamics, and biological rebirth. They exit the loop of samsara forever. They achieve the deathless state. The third noble truth changes everything. It tells us that peace is not an impossible dream. You do not have to be a victim of your biology, your DNA, your past karma, or your daily anxieties. The Buddha proved that because your suffering has a cause, it must have an end. Absolute freedom is not a myth, it is a psychological reality waiting to be realized inside your own mind. But how do we cross the bridge from our chaotic daily lives to this state of ultimate coolness? What is the practical, daily roadmap to achieve Nirodha? Find out in our final episode, Part 4, as we unlock the ultimate ancient blueprint for living, Maggie, the Noble Eightfold Path.